Can you believe that more than half of the year has already flown by? I just turned 34, and with every birthday, I get to reassess my situation. After getting gifts for my birthday, Amazon Prime Day, and the summer sale, it is finally time to lower the urge of consumption. It is time for a fresh start, and I will start this month with a low buy challenge. Although it would be optimal to take a low buy here right away, I'm consciously starting the year with a 30-day low buy challenge. They say it takes about 21 days to establish a habit, and for me personally, 30 days is the perfect time frame to change and let go of old habits. What are my intentions? For me, this challenge is not primarily about the money saved, even though that is a huge benefit. My savings are automatically deducted from my salary, allowing me to spend the remaining money freely without risking my financial well-being. This is about spending my money more consciously, questioning my needs. I don't want to buy things on an emotional impulse. I want to lead a simpler and more conscious lifestyle. And I know that reducing material consumption will also help me to keep my mind clear. The fewer things that I have to take care of, the better and less stressful my life will be. And that is actually what I want from my life, a simple and somewhat stress-free life. If I'm honest, like many others, I surely have enough, and I want to make the conscious effort to appreciate and enjoy what I have and be satisfied with it. What are my rules for this experiment? The next 30 days I will try to limit myself from purchases that aren't really necessary. And there are a few categories that can potentially take my money. Not buying any clothes. So I will not buy any clothes throughout the next 30 days. Even though you can't really predict the weather here in Germany, I'm sure I will get by with the clothes that I already own. I read a book by Courtney Carver, which was called Project 333, and she described how often we wear only 20% of our clothes 80% of the time. And it is so true. I always reach for the same t-shirts, pants and button-downs. And as soon as we do the laundry, I will cycle through the same clothes again. I am at an age that I put much more emphasis on the clothes that are comfortable, functional, and look good enough. Most of us have more than enough, and yet somehow we continue to look for more, not buying any electronics. Anyone who is passionate about photography or technology in general knows what we call GAS. GAS stands for Gear Acquisition Syndrome. It describes the desire to constantly buy new equipment or accessories, another tripod, a light, a background screen, but I will strictly limit myself to using what is available to me. Also, restricting myself from too much equipment forces me to be more creative and get the most of what I have. Because of my job in the hospital and those long hours, I don't really have time to shop outside. I will only go out for shopping if I really have to. The city center in Cologne is just too crowded. And that's kind of overwhelming, but where can you always spend your money? On your phones. Amazon is a dangerous zone for me, because it's easy to shop. Plus, as a Prime member, deliveries are super fast. I will not order anything online the next 30 days. No impulse purchases. Something closely related are impulse purchases. Before buying a non-essential item, I will give myself 7 days to wait. When you need something immediately, you usually know you have to make the purchase. But anything that isn't necessary and only has the label I want or I desire it, I will put it on a wish list and then first forget about it. If I still want the item after 7 days, I can reevaluate. Often I quickly forget these things that I wanted to buy in the first place. I will not set a fixed budget that limits my personal expenses. I want to start with a free mindset, with an abundance mindset. I don't want to feel like I have to limit myself. I want to have the option to buy things, even though I intend not to buy anything. I want to actively refrain from purchasing. I want to think I can buy anything, but I don't want to because I do have enough. But maybe you function differently. Maybe setting a strict budget is exactly the right thing for you and your financial situation. Broken things can be replaced. For example, if I have a stained white t-shirt because I eat like a 4-year-old, I will allow myself to buy a new one, given that I have tried all the things to clean it. Or maybe a gadget breaks and it cannot be repaired, and that's okay too. I'm okay with spending money for my personal well-being, books or activities. Money invested in myself is never wasted in my eyes. Filling my mind with knowledge or getting a massage is always a good investment. Or if my friends want to go out and try new activities, I won't think about the expenses. Limiting food waste. I love to cook, but I still want to be more mindful of using everything up at first. I also need to defrost my freezer, so I can use that as a reason to eat everything that's still in there. In addition to these rules that I have set for myself, I have some tips for you. Make your own system. What is realistic for me may not be realistic for you. If you set a goal that you can stick to, you can save yourself the trouble. Don't waste your time. My weak spot, as mentioned earlier, is technology and electronics. For you, it might be clothes, decoration, or sports equipment. Set your own boundaries. Why do you want to do this challenge? Write it down. Is it because you want to change your habits? Do you want to be financially more stable? Do you want to have more money for your newly founded family? Do you want to live more consciously and simply? And be honest with yourself. A strong why will enable you to follow through with it. Even if you're not a spreadsheet and list freak like me, it is really worthwhile to make a list of all your fixed and variable costs. Everything, literally everything, belongs on this list. List meticulously what you spend your money on, from your rent and Netflix subscriptions to your leisure activities. You will find out unnecessary subscriptions, you will realize how much money you throw away on useless stuff. I promise you, besides all the things that I mentioned in this video, the status assessment is what will bring you the greatest benefit. Newsletters have a high return on investment. That's also the reason why every single business has a newsletter. The goal is always to turn you into a customer eventually. You are constantly reminded that something is missing in your life, that this one item will make you happier, that this will make your life a little bit easier. If you don't receive these reminders in the first place, you will shop much less. And the same goes for accounts on Instagram, for example, that make you spend your money. Remove all the temptation from your life. The next time you buy an item, ask yourself how many hours you have to work for it. Is it worth owning a sweater, pants or bag that costs you 1 or 2 work days or maybe even 3 months of work time? I can't understand how people walk around with designer bags that cost them half of a salary, but I don't mean that in a judgmental way. Everyone has their own priorities, which is also completely okay. But just ask yourself, is it worth it to you? Or am I doing it for someone else or to impress people on social media? Conversely, when I went to Japan last year, I also calculated whether it was worth the extra cost for a direct flight. I would have to do 3 13-hour night shifts to make up for the money. In the end, I would rather work the entire weekend and then have the peace of mind to fly to Japan in one go. So making those calculations a conscious process will give you clarity of what is important to you. We live in a consumption-oriented society, and with these rules and tips, I want to move a little bit away from it. If you are going through tough times and need guidance to gain clarity for your life, I have this video right here to pick you up. I hope you're doing well. I hope you learned something. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Jeremy Tuesday. Peace.